Abraham's responsibility. We start by quoting Genesis chapter 14 from 14 to 16. Now, when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his 318 trained servants who were born in his own house and went in pursuit as far as Dan. He divided his forces against them by night, and he and his servants attacked them and pursued them as far as Hobah, which is north of Damascus. So he brought back all the goods and also brought back his brother Lot and his goods, as well as the women and the people. We know that Abraham's character undoubtedly captured the attention of God. One significant demonstration of his faithfulness or faithful nature was his response to Sarah's barrenness. Despite having the option to take another wife, he chose not to inflict that pain on his beloved spouse. Last Sunday we spoke clearly that Abraham had not been, or Abram should I say, had not been blameless. But understand what led Abram to have a son with Hagar was not his lust. It was not like Abram looked at Hagar and said, look at how beautiful she is. I'm going to have a baby with her. That was not it. Sarah insisted. Sarah persuaded him to have a child with Hagar. Because in those days, customs were, if a servant woman bore a child from her master on the lap of her mistress, the child was mistress's, not hers. Not hers. So she pastured Abram, who ended up listening to his wife, becoming blameful. But once again, it was not lust. It was not the desire to have a child. It was like, I have to do what my wife is asking me to. It's no longer about me. It's about her. Became blameful, and God said to him after 13 years, walk before me and be what? Blameless, because you were at fault. You listened to your wife more than you listened to me. And that brings to memory Adam. Let God to remember whom? Adam, who listened to his wife and took the fruit from her hand, of which God said, you will not eat, lest you die. So God said, you have been blameful. You have been at fault here. So walk before me and be blameless. But his character, Abram's and Abraham's character, was a good character. Let us go continue now. In the above biblical verses, we observe another excellent quality in his character, his sense of responsibility towards the souls of his nephew Lot and his family. A remark here for you to understand who Lot was. The youngest brother of Abraham, Haran, had passed away, leaving his son Lot an orphan. Since Lot's mother is not mentioned, it is likely she also died, possibly in the same incident. In response to this tragedy, Abraham took Lot under his wing, treating him as his own son, which is why he brought him along when he answered God's call. Interesting here. Abraham treated him as his own son. How many people, they are like the sons of Abraham, but they themselves are not the sons of Abraham. They are like. They speak alike, not word by word, but they sound alike. Their behavior most of the time are like the behaviors of a son, a child of Abraham. They're not children of Abraham, but they are like. Just like the wheat and the tare. The tare is not the wheat, but the tare is like the wheat, but it's not the wheat. There are many people who are sons of Abraham's look like. Their clothes look like, but they are not. Because when God looks at them from close range, he sees that their faith is not like the faith of Abraham. Their behavior is not as is expected of a child of Abraham. A child of Abraham, and I quote, a child of Abraham. That was the closest thing a person could say back in those days, a child of God. So there are many people who are children of God look like, but they are not children of God. Many of their decisions, many of their choices are similar. But if you look carefully close, it is not. Pretenders. The Bible says, even the devil masks himself as an angel of light. They learned how to speak, how to behave in front of many people as a child of God, but inside of them they know. They know the things they do when nobody sees or when not many people see, their behavior. Like the Pharisees. Jesus in a fierce exchange of words with the Pharisees, Jesus said to them, and don't come to me saying you are sons of Abraham. If you were sons of Abraham, you would do the works of Abraham. If you were sons of Abraham, you would not want to kill me. And Jesus said something interesting. He said, I know Abraham. Jesus said, I know Abraham. If you were sons of Abraham, you would do the works of Abraham. So there are many lots in the world. They look like sons of Abraham. They are as sons of Abraham, but their behavior shows they are not children of Abraham, not in spirit. Continuing, it says there, but Lot lacked the same faith as his uncle. Soon he left Abraham, driven by his natural sight, sought a more independent and comfortable life in Sodom. However, it was there that disaster struck. Lot, along with his wife and daughters, found themselves taken as captives by 4 powerful kings, along with all the inhabitants of Sodom. You know, a remark here, another remark here. I'm just hoping a remark here for you. Lot was not a bad guy. Lot was not a bad guy. The Bible calls him the righteous Lot. Righteous Lot. You see that Abraham, he insisted with God, he pleaded with God. What if there are 5 righteous people there? Will you destroy the city? Don't get angry at me. Abraham was speaking with God when God revealed he would destroy Sodom. So the angel came and the angel saw righteousness in whom? In Lot. He was not a bad guy. but he was in a bad place. There are many people say, I'm not a bad person. I don't sin. But you keep on entangling yourself with people who are living in what? Sins. I don't do many things wrong, but you have a friendship with the world. And the Bible says that alone is enmity to whom? To God. So Lot was not all that bad. But his choices were, let me live in the world. Let me enjoy what the world offers. If you look at Abraham, it was more common for people to be attacked in the desert than in cities. It was more common for thieves, more common for gangs, robbers to attack you in the desert than in a city. City has wall, has guards, has an organized army. In Abraham in the desert, he chose 318 men born in his house. But you see, Lot thought he was safer in the city than in the desert. But he forgot Abraham was the blessing himself. He forgot his uncle had what no city had, God as his banner. And perhaps you are like Lot. Like Lot. You know the faith of Abraham. You know the spirit of Abraham. You know the determination of Abraham. But you still choose the world. You still choose Sodom. Sodom means the pleasures of the world, the offers of the world. That's what Sodom means. But many people still choose Sodom, even though they're not as bad as the others. But I tell you, you are worse. Forgive me to say that you are worse. And why do I say you are worse? Because you know the truth. That's the thing. There are people who do what they do because they don't know what you know. They never had an experience with God as one day you had. If you had an experience with God at all. So we become worse than them because you know better. And still we choose to dishonor God. Lot had where to be, but it was his choice to be there. Be careful. Your choices will lead you places. Can lead you to the place of Abraham, to become a friend of God, because Abraham was a friend of God, or Lot. Lot ended up in a cave, lost his wife, his daughters became pregnant of him and fled. He died in a cave. And unfortunately, that has been the end of many Christians. They were strong in the faith once. They were like sons of Abraham. But when you look at their end, you say, wow, what a turn of events, huh? In a cave, alone, without God. And what led them there? Their choices. They chose Sodom when they should have chosen to stay with God. Wow. Continues. Let us go forth. Once again, Abraham proved he knew his responsibility for the souls of Lot and his family. Then he carefully chose 318 men born in his house, armed them, and bravely went to rescue them, putting his own life at risk. However, upon returning triumphantly, Abraham had to bear the bitter taste of ingratitude and spiritual blindness from his nephew, who, despite all he had endured to rescue him as his family chose to return to the wickedness of Sodom. Huh. Can you imagine? I just saved you. You will go back? I have just rescued you. Will you go back? Reminds me of what happened in Brazil many years ago. A young man came to the church on a wheelchair. He was involved in gangs. Some of you might know the story already. He was involved in gangs and he was paralyzed. I think he got shot on the back and he was paralyzed. And was brought to the church on a wheelchair. Chains of prayer, campaigns of faith. Using his faith, he started walking. The miracle happened. The boy started walking. What a rescue. Ain't it a great testimony? Ain't it a great testimony? Hello. Is it not a great testimony? Somebody came to the church, brought on a wheelchair, and leaves the church walking. Ain't it beautiful? Great. Then after a while, he was walking. He met a few of his old friends and went back to the life he led one day. This time the bullet did not hit his spine, hit his head. The problem was now he was, then he was walking, now he was dead. This ungratefulness happens a lot. God cleanses, He washes, He gives us hope of salvation, and we turn our back on Him. Let today be the day that we are not children of Abraham look like. I go to church, I pray to the God of Abraham, but if the God of Abraham is not your God, the God of Abraham will not save you. He has to become your God. Has to become your God. How does it happen, Pastor? What is the process? What makes him my God? When you stop following anyone else and everyone else, and you start following him and him alone. It says that Galatians 3:7 says, therefore know that only those who are of faith are sons of, not look-likes. They are sons of Abraham. And what is faith? Assurance of things you hope for, and the substance of things you cannot see. The faith here is the faith that led Abraham to hear God's voice 7 times. In 100 years of life with God, Abraham heard God's voice how many times? 7 times. And Abraham followed with one blemish, but he followed. Perhaps have 1, 2, 10 blemish, still start following today, and your soul will be safe. Don't be a child of Abraham look like. Lot, a son of Abraham look like, chose Sodom, chose what is easy. Little he knew he was in danger. Perhaps those have been your choices. You choose what is easy, what makes you feel accepted. You choose what makes you feel good. You choose what makes your body tingles. That's what you choose. But little you know you are choosing what Lot chose, to end alone in a cave, or quoting Jesus' words, outside where there is, what is it? Weeping and gnashing of teeth. The cave, the rejection of God, exchanging God for Sodom, the pleasures of this world. You can stop it all tonight. That's the thing. That's the thing I want you to know. It cannot change tonight. Whatever you are, it can change now. It's just a matter of choice. Choose God. Choose life. Choose blessing. Choose the salvation of your soul. It can all change here now. You are at that crossroad. You are at that crossroad that Lot was at. Sodom here, the desert here. Sodom could not keep me safe. Abraham kept me safe. That's where you are. Choose the side of Abraham. And you won't be outside with weeping and what else? Gnashing of teeth. The change can happen tonight. Take a deep breath. I want you to think carefully. Each one of us one day will stand before the white throne. You and me and your neighbor and your schoolmate, your work colleague, all of us will stand before the white throne. That's all of us without exception. Christians and Muslims, Buddhists and Catholics, all of us will stand, whether they believe or not, whether they want or not. The Bible says every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. The Bible does not say the knee will bow willingly, but every knee will bow. Mine will, yours will, every knee will. And what will happen after, when you are before the white throne, you can't blame anybody. You can't point your finger at anyone. It was your choice. So choose life. Again, perhaps you are a son of Abraham look like. You look like one. And Fiji is common, right? Oh, there goes a Christian. They have nothing of Christianity, but their religion is Christianity. But if to be Christian is to be what they are, I'm not a Christian. I'm something else. And I want you to be something else as well. Don't put a label in yourself that does not say the truth of who you are. For you to be a child of God, in those days called the children or sons of Abraham, you have to live in the faith of Abraham. You have to follow him. And I want you to pray here now. And if you say, Pastor, I am weak, don't tell me you're weak. Tell God. I can't make you strong. I wish I could. If I could make you strong, I would. What I can do is to show you the way. That's what I can do. I can show you the way for you to be strong. Now, to become strong is an option. To choose the way. Warning, the way is difficult. Sometimes God might break your. Sometimes God might break your out of hatred. Out of what? Out of love.